All right, so you ready to dive in? We're tackling how AI is totally changing the game when it comes to coding.
It's huge. And the really interesting part, this isn't some far-off thing.
Right, this is happening now.
Exactly. This is happening now. And get this, it's not just for the tech geniuses anymore either.
We're talking like anyone can learn this stuff now.
It's starting to look that way, and to help us break it all down, we're tapping into the insights of two giants in the field.
Okay, lay it on me. Who are we talking about?
We've got Andrew Ng, the AI guru himself,
The founder of DeepLearning.ai, right?
That's the one. And he's got some seriously eye-opening things to say about how AI is revolutionizing coding, like, right now.
Okay, and I bet he would know. Who else?
And to give us that educational perspective, we've got Miran Sahami.
He's the Stanford CS professor.
Yep. And he's been shaking things up in how we learn this stuff, especially when it comes to the ethics of it all.
Which, let's be real, is a huge part of this whole AI conversation. We can't just ignore that part.
Absolutely not. So, ready to get into it. We're talking AI, coding, the future of, everything.
Let's do it. So, where do we even begin? This AI thing feels like it's changing by the minute.
It kind of is. But one of the biggest things Ng keeps hammering home is this idea that the AI revolution is happening now. He points to tools like GitHub Copilot.
Which, for anyone who hasn't encountered it yet, is basically like having an AI pair programmer.
Exactly. And Ng says tons of seasoned developers are using it to, like, write code way faster.
Really? So we're talking like time saved, productivity through the roof, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It can help with everything from documentation to debugging, which, if you've ever coded anything, you know can be a real pain.
Huge time saver. So is this like the end of coding as we know it? Will we even need human coders anymore?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And here's where it gets really interesting. N emphasizes that while these AI tools are crazy powerful,
they're not about to take over the world just yet.
Not quite. See, he says that AI, at least for now, often misses the bigger picture, the context that us humans bring to the table.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Like, he talks about how he once used AI to write code for a cache.
A cache, like where your computer stores data so it can access it quicker.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
a cheat sheet for your computer. But here's the thing. The AI nailed the code. It worked perfectly.
But there's always a but.
But it only worked because Ng already knew what a cache was and why it was the right solution for that particular problem.
So the AI was basically a really good code monkey, following instructions but not really understanding the why.
Exactly. And that's a crucial point. Ng's story highlights that even with these advancements in AI, there's still a huge need for those core computer science skills.
We're not obsolete just yet.
Not even close.
Okay, so we've established that humans are still calling the shots when it comes to this whole AI and coding thing.
At least for now.
Right. But it does make you wonder, if anyone can potentially code with the help of AI, what skills are we even supposed to be learning?
That's where it gets even more interesting. Sahami, our Stanford professor.
Yes, the education guru.
Exactly. Well, he says forget about just memorizing syntax, all those super specific rules about writing code.
Which, to be fair, can feel a bit like learning a whole new language sometimes.
Totally. But he's saying that's becoming less important now. What matters more are those core skills, the ones that AI can't quite replicate yet.
So, like what? Give me the cheat sheet.
Well, he talks a lot about the importance of computational thinking.
Which, if I remember correctly, is like breaking down a problem into smaller steps.
You got it. Like, how do you teach a computer to, say, organize 1,000 photos? Well, you got to break it down into those bite-sized instructions that even a machine can understand.
Makes sense. And Sammy's saying that's a skill we all need, not just the coding whizzes.
Exactly. It's that problem-solving mindset that's useful for, like, everything, whether you're trying to debug your code or, I don't know, figure out the best route to avoid traffic.
Okay, so computational thinking. Got it. What else?
This one's a little more abstract, but he also talks about the importance of understanding abstractions.
Okay, I'm going to need you to unpack that one for me.
Think of it this way. Remember Ng's cache example?
Yeah, the AI that could write perfect code but didn't really understand what it was doing.
Right. Understanding abstractions is about getting the why behind the code. It's like knowing that a cache is more than just some lines of code. It represents this whole concept of storing data for faster access.
So it's like seeing the bigger picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
And knowing how those abstract concepts translate into real-world solutions. It's about choosing the right tool for the job, not just any tool that technically works.
Which is where AI can sometimes fall short, right?
Exactly. AI can write the code, but it needs that human touch to make sure it's actually solving the right problem in the best way.
So we need to become like code interpreters.
In a way, yes. We need to be able to evaluate AI's output. Does it actually make sense? Is it the most efficient solution? Are there any ethical considerations?
Oh, right, the ethics. Can't forget about those. But we can dive into that a bit more later. Speaking of ethics, that's something I wanted to circle back to. Because, yeah, this AI stuff is amazing and all, but it's moving so fast.
It really is. It's like someone hit the fast forward button on technological progress, and we're all just trying to hold on.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, are we even ready for this? Like, ethically speaking, are we prepared for a world where AI can code circles around us?
That's a question Ng grapples with a lot. He's said that the speed, this rapid development powered by AI, is creating both huge opportunities, but also a lot of pressure.
Pressure on who? Give me an example.
Well, he talks about how entire industries are feeling the heat. Like everyone's suddenly in this race to innovate faster, be more efficient, and it can feel pretty overwhelming.
It's like we all got handed the keys to a Ferrari, but no one bothered to teach us how to drive it.
That's a great analogy. And Ng, to his credit, is very upfront about the ethical considerations here. He doesn't shy away from that at all.
Which is refreshing, because let's be real, not every tech leader is doing that. Some are just like, full speed ahead, ethics be damned.
Right. But Ng and Sahami both seem to be on the same page here. They're saying, look, this technology is incredibly powerful, but we need to make sure we're using it for good.
Which brings us back to those core skills, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about knowing how to write the code, it's about understanding the implications.
Exactly. It's about being able to say, okay, AI just built this amazing thing, but should we use it? What are the potential downsides? Who might it impact negatively?
Those are big questions and honestly kind of intimidating. Like, how do we even begin to wrap our heads around all of this?
Well, Sahami actually offers a really helpful comparison. He talks about how learning to code in this new AI-powered world is kind of like when we all had to learn how to use smartphones.
Okay, I'm listening.
Remember when smartphones first came out? It probably felt like this huge technological leap. Like, how am I ever going to understand all these apps and features?
Oh, yeah, I remember those days. Feeling totally lost and confused, like I was suddenly behind the times.
Exactly. But now, it's second nature to us. We navigate these complex devices without even thinking about it. Sahami believes the same thing can happen with AI and coding.
So it's not about becoming some kind of AI expert overnight. It's about having that foundation to learn and adapt as things evolve.
Exactly. And the more we embrace those core skills, computational thinking, ethical decision-making, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this new world.
This has been a lot to process, but super fascinating. So as we wrap up, what are the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest one is this. AI is radically changing how software is built, and that's opening up opportunities for everyone to become more tech-savvy, no matter what field they're in.
It's like that saying, in the future, everyone will need to be a programmer, at least a little bit.
Exactly. And second, don't underestimate the importance of your own expertise. AI can amplify your knowledge, but it can't replace it.
Right. AI might be able to write the code, but it's the humans who are setting the goals, understanding the context, and making sure it's all being used ethically.
Exactly. And that's a good reminder for all of us, really. AI is a tool, a powerful one, but ultimately, we decide how to use it.
That is a great point to end on. Food for thought as you navigate your day. If AI can learn to code, what else can it learn? And what does that mean for the future of, well, everything? Until next time, keep diving.